Okay, Adam, let's go on to our next topic, which is a kind of interesting one that came out a few days ago, which was an old deal that Marvel, whenever they were struggling, tried to make with Sony Pictures.
Oh yeah, this is a good story. You were telling me about this before we started.
Sony was offered to buy all the movie rights to all of Marvel characters for a small sum. Well, it's not a small sum, but $25 million.
Yeah. In terms of film licensing, that's a pretty small sum.
Yes. That was 20 years ago that they were so desperate that they almost gave away all of their movies. The company survived bankruptcy.
That would have been in the 90s. That would have been when Marvel was going through its bankruptcy and reinvention.
Yeah, that's exactly when this is happening.
Yeah.
And so they offered to Sony, and I'm trying to find the exact quote. Here it is. An unnamed big shot at Sony reportedly claimed that, quote, nobody gives a shit about any other Marvel characters.
Other than Spider-Man.
Other than Spider-Man. So they bought Spider-Man for $10 million. And a lot of people are sitting there like, oh, well, Sony lost out on a lot of money that they could have been having because that would have been a hell of a deal.
While that's true, do you really want Sony to be in charge of the Marvel properties?
Yes. Also,
you saw what they've done.
At the time, their comic book movies were considered dead because of Batman and Robin. Let's be fair with that. Yeah. So there was that. 2, besides, I can't remember what came out first. It might have been Spider-Man. It might have been X-Men. I'm not sure. But those were the 2 movies that people were like, ooh, these comic book movies might actually be something.
Yeah.
And then there was Blade, and people were like, oh, Blade is actually really...
Blade was the shit.
Yeah, Blade was great. And so what happened was it's like, oh, well, Sony missed out on buying Black Panther. Look, we're going to get into our Black Panther review, but let's be completely honest about this.
At that time period, Black Panther would not have done well.
No. And also, under the Sony banner, like, let's be fair here, because Sony had a great success with Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then they had a 3-lump film period where they had very garbage films.
Yeah.
I don't think The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is very bad, but there's a couple things wrong with it that I think are that hold it back from being a great film. But Spider-Man 3 was awful, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 was pretty goddamn terrible. The only thing I think they handled right was the whole Gwen Stacy relationships that they with Peter Parker. I thought they did that great. And then they came back with Homecoming. But that was mostly because they were in a massive rut, and Marvel was like, "Oh, well, we'll help you out on Homecoming." Yeah. So let's not be, jumping the gun here and saying that Sony buying all of the Marvel, that wouldn't have been beneficial to us at all.
It would have been terrible. Yeah.
Like, one, them having all of these characters, you wouldn't have been able, like...
I mean, just think about the watered-down version of villains from Spider-Man that you got, the watered-down version of Spider-Man in general that you got from Sony multiple times. I just think... Could you imagine that, the watered-down version of Captain America, the watered-down version of Black Panther, the watered-down version...
I'm not going to say that they were watered-down versions, because
They totally were.
No, because I thought Doc Ock was really good. I thought Green Goblin was okay. I just thought you had a dumb decision to put... William Dafoe, the guy who's like crazy looking on his own, you decide to put him behind a still plastic mask. Yeah. But Doc Ock I thought was really good. They did J. Jonah Jameson amazingly.
That's basically the best character.
But I thought they did Peter Parker very well, and I thought they had Spider-Man pretty good. So, I mean, I don't think... The first 2 Spider-Man are great. Spider-Man 3 was just a little bit of a setback. Not a little bit of it. Was definitely a big setback. Amazing Spider-Man was going...
We both know Sam Raimi scuttled that movie.
Yeah, he was done. He was just burnt out.
Yeah.
And then they went through The Amazing Spider-Man and just... I thought they did a lot of things right. But altogether, they could head in the right direction with this film franchise if they do it right. And then they just botched it with Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, yeah, like, let's not act like you guys act like Iron Man is this big superhero. No one gave a fuck about Iron Man back then. People...
Which that was Sony, wasn't it? Or is that Paramount?
Marvel did that one.
Yeah, I know, but it was also Paramount, wasn't it? It was before Marvel was its own thing.
Yeah, I believe so. I think Marvel had Paramount might have been it. But, like, Iron Man was kind of a gamble. Like Iron Man was kind of like a B-class hero. Like, a lot of people consider Captain America a way more recognizable brand than Iron Man. But if you said that now, like, you'd be like, oh, that's not possible. But yeah, Captain America was considered like a much bigger brand. The X-Men were considered a much bigger brand, especially with the TV show at the time, and Spider-Man with the TV show at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Marvel, yeah, I'm so, well, one, I'm glad that this deal never went through, but I also don't understand why people are shitting on it like, oh, Sony could have had all this money. Yup. No, let's be fair here. Like, Sony would have released, if Sony would have decided to make an Iron Man movie, it probably would not have been that great.
It would have sucked. Yeah, and they wouldn't have been able to make 2 and 3 and an Avengers film that he was in.
And then get to Black Panther where we're at now.
Yeah.
Like,
it never would have happened. Sony would have fucking just
two movies I never thought I would see in my life ever were Doctor Strange and Black Panther. I never thought in my life I would ever get to see Doctor Strange on a film. Never. I'm still hoping to see a Silver Surfer movie, but we'll see whenever Marvel possibly gets that back.
I think some people are talking about how that's probably a good direction to go in. I don't know how that's going to happen.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, I'm there. That's what I want. I want a Silver Surfer movie. I never thought I would get it. Doctor Strange, 100%. I would have put money down years ago saying, nah, we're never going to get a Doctor Strange film. And Black Panther, I never thought we were going to get either.
No.
I thought Black Panther had a possibility whenever it came to Blade, but I never thought, I'm like, yeah, Black Panther is just way too obscure to get a film.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let's just pump the brakes on that, and I think it's a cool story, though. I think that only $25 million for everybody.
Yeah.
Whew, God, they were in such a deep heap of shit back then, Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, man. But yeah, that's pretty much the topic on that. That is very crazy to me. But yeah, I'm so happy that deal never went through because we'd never have the quality films that we have now.